Alright, what's going on, everyone? We are back for another episode of King's Quest II, the remake. We are roughly halfway through, judging by our score. So, we gonna go to the church, I think. Going to the church at night, why not? Has been open for, it's one of those churches that keeps odd hours. And there's the bell. I just realized there was a bell chiming in the background. Alright. It's a seedy church that's only open at night.
Finding the door unlocked and unbarred, you enter the church.
Oh yeah. Finally. Well, I hate to come into the church and start stealing stuff, but it's all clearly there for me to pick up and steal. So let's do that as a spider walks by. It's fine. It's big, but it's fine. Alright, anyway, let's pick up this book.
You look
it's
over
the Bible,
which appears to be many decades old. You open it and find that an otherwise blank page at the front has been written on. It is dated over 20 years ago.
Wow, 20 years ago. It's an old Bible. This is like back when Jesus was... Oh, should I be reading this? This is lovely music, by the way. I like this. The simple people of Kolyma cling still to the memory of their former ruler. Alright, I was thinking this is Daventry for a second. I was like, come on. It's time to move on, people. King Graham is in charge now, and he's doing a great job. Just looking for a lady. There you go.
You return the Bible to where you found it.
Man, how many times in these Sierra games does a page fall out of a book after you read it? 50%, I have to say.
You pick up the fallen page and read it. The words appear to have been written recently. Silently with newfound skill, Riley's souls naughtily steal.
Silently with newfound... I wonder if it's like the first letter or something like that.
You read the silently with newfound skill,
it's not a
Riley's souls
word.
naughtily steal.
Okay. Newfound skill. I always think of newfound glory. For some reason, right?
This collection box is for money and valuables. Its contents are to be removed only by the monks.
Didn't have any problem taking that page, Graham. Alright, let's talk to him. Find out why he keeps such... Let's find out what he's doing during the day, am I right?
The monk is in deep prayer and does not respond to your words.
You're gonna talk to me, damn it.
The monk is in
Dude!
The monk
is on fire. Alright, let's pray next to him. I remember that from the first game.
You kneel down to pray. You rise again after a few moments.
Thank everyone for tuning in live, by the way.
The monk stirs, stands, and turns to face you.
That's creepy, by the way, in the top left. Let's take a look at that real quick. Hey, monks wait. I've waited long enough for the monk. He can wait a couple seconds as I check out this statue.
A hideous statue of a grinning fiend forms an archway leading to the church's outdoor cemetery.
Hello, sir.
Father, I go now to a place of darkness. While I am stout of heart, the path laid down before me is unclear. I seek only the knowledge that my passage be illuminated by heavenly favor, and a prayer that I may make it through.
The monk gives you a reassuring smile and pats you on the shoulder. He then lifts a silver cross from around his neck and places it in your hands.
Thank you.
Oh, never mind. I'm an ass.
My child.
You can talk?
Of course.
I thought monks were forbidden from speaking.
Not all churches follow the same
rules. Maybe in Daventry.
And this church is
He looks evil. I hate to profile, but he looks super evil.
How so?
The monk just smiles placidly at you.
About this crucifix.
I believe you will find the cross to be of immense value. It has come to us at a huge price.
I'm not trying to pawn it.
Expensive?
I mean that it has cost us more than any value to be in possession
It's the eyebrows. It's the nose a little bit too.
Why is it that you only open the church at dusk?
We find the late hours more favorable.
Why does everything you say sound creepy?
Your congregation.
Yes, that is true.
So you're lazy, you just don't want anyone to show up. I understand
What do you
that.
know of the Count?
Only that he is a heathen. a blasphemer. You serve God well by going there, my child.
What?
Bless you.
The monk smiles at you, turns back to the altar, kneels, and resumes
Well, that was
his
a
prayers.
strange exchange.
The
At least
monk
we got this sweet chain now, which I think will protect. Let's pop it on right now, actually, in case he jumps us outside. Dracula.
You place
There
the
we
silver
go.
cross and chain around your neck and wear it as a necklace.
I do look like Gaston, but Gaston was like a, buffoonery kind of evil. Except there at the end when he went crazy. Tried to kill the beast. Sorry, spoilers. I think most people know how Beauty and the Beast goes by now. Can we go to the graveyard? Yeah, we can. Ooh. Creepy. Was not a graveyard in the first one. Man, is this where the Borgov crypt is from Quest for Glory 4? Is this where that thing from Quest for Glory 4 is? Floor or 4? Oh, did they do fun stuff with the tombstones?
Lester Williamson, 1300 to 1345.
45. My math is
Here
correct.
lies a man who feared all bugs, too scared to even lift his rugs. For if he had, he would have found insects that make little sound, with bites so deadly for their size that surely did cause his demise.
Wow, imagine being terrified of bugs and then being killed by bugs. Or being terrified of anything and then being killed by it. I guess we all have that with a lot of things, actually.
Rarlop Neven, 985 to 1015.
Is that backwards?
The jester
Parlar?
joked his life
No.
away until
Or
a quip he made
Rar-
one day. Insulted was a baron's son who had this poor old jester hung.
Rarlop Neven. Rarlop Neven. I feel like that's a reference to something.
Rebecca Twintle, 1250 to
Oh,
1273.
she's young.
In that usual daring way of hers, she threw caution to the wind. Late one eve, she risked a venture and went out to sea with him. Totally in love she was, so filled with careless whim that when he threw her overboard, she never thought to swim.
Wow. It's a bummer.
Goulash Thompson, 1370
Natalie
to
Wood.
1441. Never in all his living years had he ever seen such sights. For hours did he stare at them, those
dazzling
beautiful,
lights.
dazzling lights. So happy was he that he had been able to live to see this night, but down a cliff he blindly fell, for the lights had been too bright.
Didn't anyone just, choke or... Everyone had a very interesting and unusual death.
Larman Odnarb, 1175 to 1200. Dear old Larman was a healer, cured many a deadly fever. One he caught that bitter day,
Yeah,
healed
all right.
not himself and passed
That's pretty straightforward. She's a Rizolka now. That's how it goes. You drown in a Sierra
Here
game, you
lies
become a
the
Rizolka.
Odnarb family. Evidently, they were well respected to have their own area.
Clearly.
Lyot O'Malif, 1200 to 1256. She was a lady with strange habits, who as friends kept only rabbits. When time came, her hunger due, her friends all wound up in her stew. The other creatures, also bunnies, found this not remotely funny, so their swift revenge they
kitchen
sought.
in her sleep
the kitchen
they
in her
brought.
sleep they brought, heaved her into a
Damn.
large pot, which was, regretfully, much too
Wow.
hot.
A lot of very dark deaths in this graveyard. Not the normal happy deaths that we associate with graveyards. Are there any just normal names like a Frank Jones or something?
Bridget O.
Nope.
Troublewater.
Just say no.
1248 to 1299. During the annual house inspection, she spied a mirror and its reflection. For days she lovingly gazed at it, unable to sleep or eat or sit. With the last of her earthly power, there she remained till her final hour.
Damn. That's probably the saddest one of all, actually. That's what I want to see, though, Ojin. Here lies Bill. Died of bullet. Just plain and simple. Yup. That's fine. Go in that. It's clearly open. It shouldn't be, but it's...
It is likely that only the most devout
And they
believer
left the door open.
you have about as much an inkling to enter the crypt as a fish has to walk.
You're saying I don't want to go in there. I gotcha. Is this just for fun, or do I need to be reading these tombstones? I'm having fun. I like that it turned to night. Reminds me of King's Quest 4. when you do the certain number of things, and things get creepy, and everything's a little different at night. Alright, ooh, got the creepy nondescript, just the eyes.
Trees seemingly form a wall here, barring your passage to the north.
Alright, cool. Let's take off. Try clicking the hand on the bell outside the church for a Sierra reference. I love me a Sierra reference.
You are not Laura Bow, so you do not need a bell.
Alright. That's sweet. Thank you. I always...
Without warning, a pair of wolves dart out of the dark forest and dash towards you.
What?
For a minute there, you thought those wolves were going to attack. Curious as to why they didn't, you decide to follow them.
Oh, I thought it was going to give me a choice. I was like, nah, I'm fine with it.
You see the monk standing alone outside the church. Then you notice the two wolves
Look out,
approaching
sir.
him. You are about to yell a warning to the monk, but the words die in your throat as the man steps forward and pats the wolves' heads.
No, my brothers. We must not hurt him. Not yet.
Manny.
He will go to the heathen's abode. He will do what needs to be done.
What?
What if he does not? Then, my brothers, we will complete the task before us. The one we began many years.
Whoa, voice effects. Okay. What? What the H? He was so sweet in the first game, he married me in Valenice.
You quickly move away from the church, your heart racing faster with every step. You have a good idea now what will happen once the moon comes out in full, and you do not want to be anywhere near
That's an
here
old
when
wives'
it
tale,
does.
Graham. Come on.
One thing's for sure, you're not getting married
But
in
you
that
do!
church.
You very clearly do. Oh, man. That's great. I did call it eyebrow and nose equals evil. And it's another case of Tony thinks he looks like that actor, but can't think of actor's name or what that said actor has been in. Oh, well. Man. That was different. Let's leave it at that. That was different. All right, what else can we do? Need to go to the swamp at some point now that we got our chain. I feel safe. We go into Granny's house at night. Is she open for late night raves? Oh, she's got smoke coming out of her chimney. Speaking of wolves, she was definitely a wolf in Grandma's clothing sometimes in the original game. So, let's see. Hold your breath. Oh, that door open. She looks like a granny.
Oh,
Yeah.
sir, have you seen my little granddaughter? She ventured to the town to buy food for me, but has not yet returned. I fear she may be in peril. The forest is not safe at
That
night.
voice, though. What? That's it? I found your You're supposed to give me, like,
Perhaps you should try locating the elderly woman's granddaughter before venturing back.
did that
into the house.
earlier. That's garbage. Didn't she see part 1? Or whatever part? I don't know. That's weird. Everything's different.
You hear the sound of a child sobbing nearby.
That's clutch. Hey, Red.
As you approach,
Possum?
you recognize the child. It is Possum, the little girl you helped earlier today.
Everything all right?
Are you all right? What happened?
I went into town to buy some chicken soup for my grandma. I always try to reach home before dark, but this eve I lost my way and was attacked.
Attacked? A wolf
Don't just
attacked you?
assume.
No, not by a wolf.
Yeah.
Dwarf.
For a moment, you're not sure
'Cause of
that
her
you
stupid
heard
voice.
correctly.
A dwarf, did you say?
Uh-huh. He jumped out at me, took my food, and then ran away.
Ugh. Listen.
I'm going to try to find this dwarf that you say stole your food. You get back to your grandma, understand?
Possum nods.
Thought she was
says a
lost.
soft thank you, and heads back
I was gonna say, it's
home.
literally like 3 screens away. Do they understand the concept of screens in the world of Kia, wherever we are? All right. Finally gonna throw down with that dwarf who murdered me that one time before I reload it. Let's do it. Time for Leisure Suit Graham. That was someone's suggestion from the first episode. Oh, nice. Here it is. Because of that crazy extended intro of just Graham being super lonely and being like, I need to get a lady. All right. Let's do it. Sweet revenge. Yeah, knock like a gentleman.
You rap on the treehouse door and wait a moment, but
I'm the
get
guy that
no
murdered you
response.
and robbed a little girl.
You rap on the treehouse door and wait a moment, but get no...
Okay. Where was that trap from like before? Was that... Oh, okay. Man,
You watch as a little man runs out of the door, which has been built into a tree.
He just knocked
You
on it.
surmise that you have found the culprit's home. The vague aroma of chicken soup confirms it.
You
That
bastard.
fiend.
left his door open. He's like, I gotta get some rolls to go with this chicken soup. He looked a lot like one of those dwarves from King's Quest 4, the nice ones that give you soup for cleaning their house. No, you don't want to go inside the evil dwarf's house?
Finding the door ajar, you cautiously
Kick
open
that
it
shit
and step
down.
inside the tree.
I am saving compulsively, but I don't think anyone's going to begrudge me saving often and early. Mostly just often at this point. Looks a little nicer than the original. I'm going to take his knife for...
That's not a knife. The knife you found under a rock one time? Now that was a knife.
They were both knives. They're pretty similar, though I do get the Crocodile Dundee reference. Do I need gloves?
You grab the handle of the bubbling pot of chicken soup. You
Okay.
take it with you.
Just have a boiling pot of soup in your pants now? Ah! Uh-oh.
Upon opening the trunk, you find a number of items that the dwarf has obviously stolen and stashed away. Among them are some gold coins. They display the distinctive face of the first king. They could only have come from the magic chest
Broccoli
of
and cheddar
Daventry.
for the win. Can you hide in there?
Thinking quickly,
Oh, yes.
you hide in the trunk.
It's like, I don't see anything else in here. Oh, sweet. Whew. I took his soup, though.
The dwarf has entered his underground hovel. Hopefully, he won't discover you in here.
God. Oh, don't come over here. Oh, no. Oh, good. Wish I still had that ring from the first King's Quest. That was clutch. All right.
You sense that the coast
Ooh.
is clear again.
Good thing he's so stupid.
You close the chest.
All right. What did we get? We got coins from the old king.
These coins each have the distinctive face of the first king. They could only have come from the magic
This
chest
dwarf's
of
been the
Daventry.
Daventry? He's been messing up. Obviously, these items in my pants aren't to scale. Otherwise, that is one thimble full of chicken soup. Got a lot of good stuff. So excuse me while I admire my inventory. All right. I guess we're good. Do I need to, like...
It is locked.
Wow.
It is locked.
Little dwarf doesn't trust anybody locking his bookshelf. Leaves his treasure chest unlocked, but bookshelf? No, don't even think about it.
It looks like the door creaked open again after the dwarf left. You hear the latch fall into place again as the door closes
I feel
behind
certain.
you.
One, I hope we didn't forget anything while we were in there. But two, there's a certain satisfaction in locking that dwarf out of his own house. I don't know. I like it. All right. Back to Granny's, which is now 5 screens away, if my maths are correct. Oh, you didn't know you could hide in the chest? You always just tried your luck and got out of there quickly? That's fair. Yeah, I guess it's random. I didn't think I spent that much time in there, so... Alright, just in case there's a wolf in here. I've been conditioned to expect a wolf in this woman's house. Wearing her clothes. Nope, we're good. Oh, nice.
Welcome. Come in, please. Possum told me to expect you.
Kinda hate both of your voices. With respect. Alright, so... Who wanted some soup?
It is a little too cold to be serving to frail old ladies.
Standards, I appreciate that.
You place the now cold chicken soup over the crackling fire once more. After it heats up to eating temperature, you remove it again.
I want to make some joke about Graham's loins being warmer with him being so... But I won't.
You offer
Standards.
the soup to Possum's grandma. Introduce yourself and wait courteously while the frail elderly lady eats the nourishing
Just
meal.
sit there for like 10 minutes?
When she
awkwardly?
is finished, she sets the empty bowl down elsewhere and turns her attention towards you.
I hear you, Brandon.
If you would like to speak with me for a while, I would welcome your company. A person should never turn away a visitor, especially when she reaches the twilight of her
Hitting on me?
life.
You can't help but feel a sense
Yeah,
of
that
finality
is sad.
in the old woman's words.
You must have something in return for your kindness. You do not need to risk your safety for an old, worn-out woman like myself. Look under the bed. You should find something to
Oh,
keep
the
you
hood.
a little warmer on a cold night like this.
Wait, don't I already have a hood before I picked that up? No. Alright. I thought I found one in the witch's cave, but no, that was something different.
You peer under the bed and find a thick black cloak. Lying atop it is a beautiful ruby-encrusted ring. You pick both up with reverence.
I could not possibly take these fine things from you.
Oh, please. I want you to have them. Nights in Kolima are cold, believe me. As for the ring...
Aww.
Well, perhaps it is better that I do not have it to remind me.
As you wish.
Anything else?
You have a charming young granddaughter.
Grandma smiles at you graciously.
She is a treasure to me. I would do anything to ensure that no harm comes to her.
If I may inquire, what became of her parents?
Grandma frowns.
Oh,
and her eyes
Grandma.
darken for a moment before she forces a melancholy smile.
Why
to
did
her
you do
face.
They were lost to us many years ago. I am afraid your possum never
Was it the guy that
revealed
got
her
bitten by
parents.
ants
It
or
must have
whatever?
been a daunting
Bugs?
task raising a child by yourself, especially at your
At my age? I am certainly not as young as I used to be, and there is no shame
You should
in
be
that.
proud of your age.
I have tried to raise her as best I could to keep her safe and well. However, I fear that as of late the reverse has become truer.
She is the second lady that I've met in this game, but no, I'm saving myself for the librarian. Sorry to get your hopes up.
If you please, I was hoping you might tell me of the cloak and ring's origin.
Do you really
The old
care,
woman
Graham?
closes her eyes as if the memory she seeks is
Ah,
painful
you
to her senses.
bastard.
They were my
No.
husbands. He was a proud man, the last of his line. His family had been rich, a great deal of old money, you might say. They lived in that castle you might have seen to the north. Its location upon that island is evidence of how much they valued their privacy. He was a good
Strong
man, my
man.
husband. He took care of me. Certainly he had his strange
What?
habits. Most
What?
men do, if you would pardon
Let's
me
talk
to
about
say
that.
So. I suspect
Oh, right.
that he
Magic,
practiced magic, so I could never catch him in the act. He would frequently journey afar, taking that black cloak with him wherever he went, to places he would not talk about. He said that it represented something important to a certain group of people, and that I was never to mention
gang
it to
cloak.
anyone.
I can appreciate
But
that.
he was always there for me, always, until that fateful night.
What?
We had been married just over a year, and I was heavy with child. We were both out walking in the weirwood forest late one night. The air was warm, and in our youth we paid little attention to the world and its many dangers. Besides, there was
Oh,
a full
no.
moon. We could
Not
see
around
clearly
here.
enough. A shadow passed over us. We looked up, thinking
That's a
it
cute
might
little
have been a
bat.
stray cloud. It was not. Descending upon us like a demon was the largest,
okay.
most
I thought it was
hideous
cute.
I had ever seen. Its fangs were bared, and it dove straight for me. I must have screamed. My husband flung himself in front of me to protect me. He swung his arms
your
about
husband
frantically
Dracula
in hopes
now?
of warding the horrid thing away. Perhaps he was trying to cast a spell, but could not recall how in his panic. It paid him no heed and would not be
What's this
deterred.
music?
It swooped again and again relentlessly. At one point, my husband's hand must have clipped the bat's wing because it lost control and crashed into his shoulder. He tried to wrest the foul creature away, but then he
Bit
shrieked
through that
suddenly.
suit?
The horrid thing had
Wow.
bitten him.
Ooh, nice fade.
He never did recover from that incident. He just faded with each passing hour. Within 2 days of the attack, my husband had died. We buried him on his family's plantation on the island. Sometimes when I sleep, I can feel him watching over me, guarding me, protecting me. I think he is waiting for my time to come so we can be together always.
The old lady seems to be dozing off. You can barely hear her final words.
I miss him so.
Telling the story has clearly taken a great deal out of her. You watch the old woman a moment and notice her labored breathing as she sleeps. Despite the little girl's tireless daily efforts, perhaps there's nothing more to be done.
Wow. Yeah, in the first game, we just kind of got the cloak, and we left. Didn't really need to know all that backstory, but there you go. And I was going to mention, but I didn't want to, in case anyone really loves the dialogue from this game, that her husband looks a lot like this will be a spoiler, but from Hero U that I played on this channel, from the Coles, who made Quest for Glory, it looks like the girl that dressed up as the boy. If you know the reference, she looked a lot like that guy when she was dressing up. Anyway, my goodness, when did we start playing this game?
The little girl is talking to yourself.
She's still alright. She's still alive. That's good.
Sister
All right.
my dear. Tell me you have good news.
The king has arrived in Kalima, father.
That is not what I meant.
Yes. Well, he appears to be quite resourceful. It seems his reputation was not totally exaggerated.
He's still alive?
For now, but that will change soon, I think. The king has discovered that one of the gems he seeks is in the possession of a colleague of ours. Do you remember? Cauldron.
My old
Yes.
drinking buddy.
Is he still trustworthy?
Totally. Still sharp, and there's no questioning his loyalty. My humblest apologies, father, but Would it not have been simpler for you to have dealt
dare
with
you
Graham
question me?
personally?
Fool! Imagine the ensuing chaos where Daventry's king murdered in his own land. How then would I be able to search for the item?
I see.
Failure is not an option.
Understood, Father.
Keep me informed, preferably of good King Graham's death.
So he does know I'm good. That's good. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, should we put on the rest of that swag?
The ring is
Beloved.
gold with an enormous...
Do I need to, like...
You are now wearing. You remove. You are... The black cloak is a fine... The black cloak is a fine... With a flourish, you fling the black
There we
cloak...
go. Did we decide that, Graham's voice in this is the same as in 5? I forget. Sounds very similar. I don't know. I remember we said Cedric's was the same. But now that I'm hearing his more for some reason, it's clicking. Maybe we said that in the last episode. I apologize. But sounds very, very similar. All right. Let's go to the swamp, right? Cool. Anyone remember where the swamp is, by the way? I remember it was super north, but the town's also super north, so I'm trying not to, like, get a mix. That's lovely.
Each day, the sky changes from sapphire to midnight blue and back again. The world is full of such marvels people so often take for
Narrator getting
granted.
deep on us. I like that. Heck yeah. There's the Bat Cave. Oh, where's the reference? Yes! Yes! Batman! That's awesome. I want him to get out and wave to us. Oh, that's awesome. That's all I wanted. Let's end the Let's Play now. Did he does he keep forgetting stuff? Robin, did you forget the Batarang? That is the thing, the Batarang. Damn it, Robin. Well, this... Oh, my God. Batman just died. Yo. Alright, Batman's dead. That means it really is up to us now, everybody. Oh, no. And then that. It's almost like...
You saw black glow. You did not slow. Turned not...
Oh, my goodness. That was fantastic. It would have been, time-wise, it would have been Michael Keaton's Batman. Are we at the swamp, finally? All right. The swamp. Let's do a save. I'm going to break from tradition here and type swamp. All right. Let's do it. No? Are we not ready for the... What the heck was that?
You feel the poisonous waters seeping
That was
into
so
your skin.
lame, Graham.
Its potency takes effect immediately,
I
and you perish
found something
within
earlier that can
seconds.
help me here. Okay. Good to know. So, I think George Clooney's did have an outline in his suit for his Batman Jr. I don't know what you want to call that. Watch out, Graham, a poisonous lake. That's fantastic. I love that. What do I have? We had directions here.
You read them silently with
Oh,
newfound
southwest,
skill.
north,
Wily
south,
souls
west,
not
south,
steal.
north, south. South. If I'm reading that right, west. Wait a minute. Was that north and then south?
You read silent. You can't. You read silently
Okay.
with newfound.
North. South.
You read
West,
silently
south,
with
north,
newfound
south. Alright, west. South. Alright, so some magic's gotta happen here in a second. If we're really gonna... Ah, that was magic! Hell yeah! I'm a little proud of that, I have to say. Thank you very much for the help there. Alright. Alright, let's cross it. Wait, are we all Dracula'd out? We're wearing our...
It is a simple but careful. Touching the necklace reveals that the opal is
Plus, we already
perfectly.
got that other one. I just want to make sure I have everything on. It was... We got the cape, we got the ring.
You remove. You are now.
I'm sure I'm wearing whatever else they told me to wear.
Boatman, I need passage. I said...
I heard.
The ghoul's voice chills you to the bone. It speaks with a deep, resonating bitterness. You cannot make out a great deal of its face, but what you can see has the hairs on the back of your neck standing on end.
In life, I would row this boat for the master. Long ago was my untimely death in these
At least he got a job out of it.
waters. But still, I remember many things. Laughter, tears,
Sunset.
joy,
Babies laughing.
pain.
Taste the vanilla. I know it's a wonderful world, but can I cross?
May I cross, Sir Boatman?
You have come to
Hell yeah,
raid
start with the liquor cabinet.
master's house. This I know, but care not
And a very good
about.
servant.
You should be warned, though. The master is not what he once was.
Doesn't like people stealing from him now.
Has this lad known a kinder, more compassionate, and nobler?
Alright, so it's not the
ruler than
husband.
he? But his fate has long since been decided. Down a dark path he now treads, and he feels naught for anyone, nor anything,
Nosferatu.
save for one other. And even that is a rare trait for a Nosferatu.
Guess so.
You freeze. Neither the Door of Destiny nor Neptune mention this count as being undead.
Yeah, we've come across worse, right?
If I may ask, Sir Boatman, how did this swamp come to be here? Is it natural?
No, the ground you stand upon was once farming land and dwellings.
The
for
hell did they
the
plant here then?
peasantry.
How did it come to be like this?
To cause all
A
this.
score of years passed after the master died,
Yeah.
and a great morass opened up, covering the surrounding land with slime and poisoned water. Once rich and fertile, now it is no longer.
The Count has caused this?
It is believed so. For why else would his own cost?
just hearsay, bro.
Ah, thank you, Sir Boatman.
Sir Boatman. It's a family name. Alright, let me cross.
The boatman has
Jeez. Do I gotta get all King's Quest 6 on you and pay you a fare? That's
The
ridiculous.
boatman accepts your payment and motions for you
All
to
right,
climb
whatever.
into the boat.
Really must stop being... Oh, he gets a lot of use out of that scythe.
The shrouded ghoul paddles across the toxic lake to the shore on the other side. The shrouded ghoul looks very frightening. His hands are little more than...
Alright. Let's head up. Save again. He's definitely wearing that cloak like the
Ouch! You feel the sharp brambles graze your skin. Your vision blurs and you begin to feel lightheaded.
What?
You feel a heavy coldness run through your entire
I just
body.
need to be careful. Ouch!
You feel a heavy coldness run through.
Didn't really commit to that line.
It's you, King Graham of Daventry. Sounds a lot better than Sir.
Sure
doesn't
do.
it? Your status as king is marred only by the still lingering single tag.
Well, there was that time I had all those villagers ordered to be murdered, but
A year on, and you still look pretty darn good.
Senate phoned in. Unicorn. Oh yeah, the sugar cube. Is that gonna help me somehow?
After
the
swallowing
magic
sugar
sugar
cube, you get a feeling of,
Of course.
invincibility.
Thank you very much.
The sharp thorns.
I'm
brush against
good. I wasn't paying attention. That's some very localized lightning. Oh, now we got some ghosts to deal with. What do these guys want?
As you approach the ghosts wearing the black cloak, they seem to notice you, and then begin to drift away towards the cemetery.
This party's over here. Is this a different cemetery?
As you step further into the cemetery, you can feel
Ha!
your life force slowly
Come
being
on,
sucked
sugar
away by
cube.
the disembodied spirits. You suddenly find yourself unable to move. The ethereal spirits drain the life force right
That's
out
rude.
of your body. You tup with the spirits and find only the graves.
Can't go to the... Let's not talk to them right away. We can go to the graveyard first.
Mary Ann
Ugh.
Drinkwater, 1230 to 1266.
Cast Aura spell, yeah.
They
I
had
know.
traveled safely for many a day until crossing a bridge along their way. She lost her balance and fell to her fate. He tried to save her, but it was too late. Douglas Buckmaster, 995 to 1020. The noise, said he, is far too loud. As he discerned the maddened crowd, the mob broke in, then he
Damn.
did scream.
Dark.
Lord Herbert and Lady Lillian, 1646 to 1668. Loving parents of Anastasia, beloved son and daughter-in-law of Count Caldor and Countess Lavidia. Our enemies, be warned. Their untimely deaths shall be avenged. Lord Herbert and Lady Lillian.
Is that them out front? There were two of them, and these are prominently displayed. Tombstones.
Tombs and crypts.
Yeah, it looks like Lord and Lady. What? I guess I don't need to hang out with them.
As you reach to push the massive doors open, you realize there are no handles. The only thing visible is a small keyhole, which slightly resembles a cross.
I don't have. Did he give me? Was I supposed to get a cross from the?
You think your crystal has become it is a slightly luminous.
Oh, right, my necklace. I got there.
Having an idea, you
Love
push the
having an
crucifix
idea.
into the cross-shaped keyhole. It fits. You hear a click, and the door unlocks.
Click.
You push the heavy wooden door open, take a deep breath, and step nervously inside the castle entrance. The moment you enter the great hall of the castle, you begin shivering uncontrollably, and not just from the cold. This place has an air of death wherever you go. As if creeping around this huge castle was not enough, knowing full well that an undead creature resides here would unnerve even the most stout-hearted of adventurers. You feel desperate to get what you came for, and anxious to leave as quickly as possible.
It also has a very Mordavian castle vibe to it as well. Clearly they shared the same interior decorator. Architects even, perhaps.
The portraits on the wall depict the couple who once lived here. They look young and proud. Behind the mask of apathy that comes with aristocracy, there's a certain kindness in their eyes.
Cool. Let's head upstairs. Alright, this is straight up King's Quest 4. I won't be surprised anymore, but I will call them out. How about that?
You take the shovel into your
there's
possession.
an organ at the top of this staircase that drives the undead away or something like that. Or does that wake up the undead? I don't even remember. I don't know.
You are unable to remove the torch from the wall.
Didn't I have... Can I light my candle on this?
You hold your candle up to the blazing torch. It catches. Your candle is
Awesome.
now lit.
Do I need to, like, hold it out to do anything with it?
You attempt...
It looks exactly the same, though. Is there anything even up here? What? How does it just lead to it? A dead-end hallway. What the hell?
It is... You are...
What? That is the weirdest thing I think we've seen in this game so far. Yeah, I forget how we dealt with those ghosts in the original one. Alright. Let's hit the other side. Ooh, creepy sound effects in the background. Expecting that creature from King's Quest V to come out. Escape, skips, walk. Interesting. I think we're alright. I don't know.
This is just a small storage room. Rows of red wine barrels are neatly stacked and piled along the wall. At least you think they contain wine. Seeing nothing else of real importance, you head back into the dining room.
Okay. You need that bag of peas to trip up that creature. Oh, this is where Dracula's sleeping in the original game. Which means it's probably completely different, and he's going to tell us some super long, sad story.
The staircase beyond is
there
very
we go.
dark. Fortunately, your candle provides just enough light to see where you are going.
Oh, gosh.
Just walk there.
All right, guy. Don't need the... Oh, it is open. I thought I saw a door. It's dark. Said to yourself, oh, man.
A raised stone dais has been built for the sole purpose of keeping the coffin off the ground. Presumably, this makes it easier for the coffin's occupant to climb in and out. The thought gives you the shivers.
Let's do a new save state here. Doesn't look like there's anyone in here right now.
The thick black cloak that you are wearing hampers your efforts to lift the coffin lid. Try removing the cloak first.
Okay. Don't know why that would matter.
The black cloak is...
Guess I need to, like, click it on myself.
You remove the black...
What?
Nervously, you lift the heavy lid of the elegant coffin.
I want to suck you. Oh, there's no one in there.
You peek into its red satin interior. The coffin is unoccupied, and you feel relief wash over you.
Is there, like, a key in here, though?
As you prepare to look
He's just
inside
kinda looking
the
around.
coffin.
King Graham, I presume.
You turn
Whoa.
on your heel. There,
David
blocking
Bowie.
the exit from this dismal room stands the Count. His skin is pale, his eyes jet black. He wears a black cloak nearly identical to the one that you possess.
You know me?
Ah,
It is
yes,
that guy.
Sister Hagatha alerted me to your arrival, dear king.
Sup?
Desperate to stall for time, you query the Count.
Sister Hagatha, you say? Who is she?
The Count regards you with a suspicious glare.
Though I suspect you already know the answer, Hagatha is a charming mage who does as she pleases in this
Cohabits
land.
with Batman,
Strange.
apparently.
I was not aware a new
Until he
ruler
died
had
in a
elected.
car crash.
Do not
That was
be
dark.
foolish. Hagatha has no interest in the politics of this wretched place, nor do I, in point of fact. Death tends to diminish one's taste.
It's such a
for
snotty
power.
face, though.
No. At present, she is interested only in one thing. As am I, your destruction.
The Count no longer...
Quick, tell him the ultimate joke, Graham. Ah!
In an instant, you are flat against the wall. The Count has you pinned so well you can't move a muscle,
My sword.
much less put up a defense. You can feel the
I'm way
Count's
more
iron
jacked than
cold
he
hand
is.
on your throat. You have barely seconds before the
Oh,
inevitable...
they mean you stuff. Where's my cross?
The Count snatches the cross key from you, and to your complete surprise,
What?
kisses it. A sarcastic grin flickers on
No,
his
it's
face for a
knockoff
moment.
silver.
God bless Colina.
Faux silver. Oh, crap. The ring.
With difficulty, you manage to loosen the ruby ring from your finger and drop it to the floor. The Count's eyes dart to it quickly, then flash angrily back to you.
Where did you get that?
Claire's. At the
elderly
mall.
woman who lives in a house to the south of here,
Near
near the beach. She gave it to me. For
Oh, I
helping
thought
her.
they, okay.
The Count regards you for a moment. His dark eyes bore unendingly into yours, and you feel as if your very soul is bare.
What do you know of her?
Seems nice. Oh,
She's
yeah.
Not
It's your lady.
well.
I know. Do you think I am not
Waiting
aware of
every
that?
day.
You are sweating profusely. Hopefully, this vampire doesn't find the odor appetizing.
Night is the most dangerous of times for my mortal family. I have kept constant vigil over my wife for many years, so that from the darkness, no harm would come to her. When her time comes, we will be together forever.
I think tonight will be the night. I have seen her this very eve. I did what I could to help her, but I do not think it was enough.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna get some tonight? Suddenly he's in a good mood. Bye. That was rude, right?
As you watch the giant bat fly out of the room, you remember that the Count confiscated your crucifix.
Oh.
Without it, you are trapped in this castle. Now, what are you going to do?
That's not good. Let's do a new save. Alright, understood. Understood. Got it from the Tooth Fairy, yo.
You are loath to touch
Check the
anything.
coffin. It's definitely a
You
key in
peer
there.
into the ornate coffin. Finding it unoccupied, you see that the interior is lined with shiny red satin.
Yes!
At long last, you have located the final gem, the Death Gem.
That one from Double Dragon 3 will be super stoked. I mean, we can go
You
get
breathe
laid.
deeply, reach out, and take the stone in your hands. It is ice cold to the touch, but you don't care.
You don't
This is
care.
the last thing you need to unlock
got
the
a
door
Dr.
of
Pepper.
destiny. Now all you have to do is get out of here.
Room temperature. What am I saying? All right, let's get out of here. Let's go down to oh, there's that spider again. Let's go down to the bottom. Did that save? There we go. Get some of these old saves in the mix. My magic map. What's
The rat darts.
hello?
You have no desire to sing here.
I mean, kinda do now. Now I do.
You have
Man, I keep waiting for some singing. They put it in the third game. I missed that pun. That was good. What? Keep waiting for something terrible to happen. Alright, can we drink some wine now?
This is just a small...
Sit down, wait for the next meal to be served. Can we go,
There is no wood, and if...
Can I go back here? Ooh. This definitely moves, right?
The bust, being made of marble, is smooth and cold to the touch. You have no interest, even though you would like to read up on how Daventry's own first king arrived with the others of his kind. You have more important things to do right now. Science has always been a controversial subject in your mind. You'd rather hang on to the perception of the world that you were brought up with.
Damn it! Are you a climate denier, Graham? Are you a flat earther?
You are not interested in a family, even though you would...
I just believe what I believe. What the hell? Is something possible now with this seeming dead end before? Did they add a room or something? Did they, Is that open now?
Seeing no
I didn't even try going out the front.
Route, you climb onto the ledge and carefully lower yourself outside, hoping to find a decent foothold. It is a long way down.
For the compliment. Oh no! Now we're playing Black Cauldron. I love it. Love me some Black Cauldron.
You are way too busy holding on for dear life.
Little mini game here. Let me guess. Don't grab the vines, even though they should probably help me. Girl in the oh no!
Suddenly, you hear a switching noise in your ear. It's joined by two others.
Sup?
You instinctively try to brush whatever it is away, but in doing so, lose your hold on the bricks and fall backwards.
Classic Graham.
Time slows as you fall.
We didn't lose.
Your world turns
Guess that's what you
black.
meant. Girl in the tower! Oh! Girl in the tower. Huh. There's that sapphire sky. What? Oh, is that his lady? What?
Our guest has awoken.
Yeah, she's cute.
Love.
Again.
Ah, good evening, dear king. I do not believe we have been properly introduced. I am Count Caldor, former lord of the realm of Colima. May I present my wife, Countess Lavidia?
A pleasure to see you.
Oh yeah, I helped you out.
In gratitude to you for alerting me to my wife's grave
I finished
condition,
her off myself.
I took the liberty of preparing you a dish. I thought you might be hungry after your harrowing adventure.
Goes for it.
You will forgive us if we do not join you. Our tastes differ from yours. Do they not, my darling?
We like people.
You shudder to think what different tastes actually means, but for some reason you note that you can no longer hear any rats squeaking.
Ew.
Indeed. So much to become accustomed to.
You shall have all the time that the world has to share to grow accustomed to such things. Well, perhaps 30 years.
What?
Should the father locate the item by then, there might not be enough world left for anyone afterwards.
Has this father to do with why you frequently went abroad, always with that cloak of yours?
Most certainly. But I think that my affiliation with him and his association has come to a close. My obligations to them took me away from my beloved too often. I do not wish to repeat that mistake.
You are forgiven, my love.
Their attention, which seemed to have wavered momentarily, now redirects back to you.
Well, well, well. What to do with
I'm
this
cool.
What were you going to do with him?
Kill him. I had quite clear instructions from Hagatha, who had apparently received them from the father himself.
But if you are not, as you say, affiliated with his association anymore,
They both share a knowing smile.
tell us, King Graham, why are
Wanna
you
be
here
a
in
hero, wait.
Cauldron?
You take a deep breath, trying to ignore the fact that you are the only one capable of doing so, and relate your story of the vision in the magic mirror and your quest to find the three
Trying to get
gems of
laid.
nature. The Count and Countess exchange
Okay,
cryptic
alright.
smiles.
Romancing the stone.
Indeed.
Obviously, that was a private joke, as you did not understand it.
Just keep stuffing your face.
So you search for the one with which you would share the rest
Yep.
of your life. On that I cannot fault you, nor on your intentions here. Therefore, I can forgive
Sweet.
the trespassing. However, there is the matter of the dark gem you wish to remove.
That's
from
the
my
only way I can meet
castle.
my lady. Did you magic into my pants just now?
I place a deal before you. I am looking for
Aw,
a magnificent
what?
sapphire-encrusted
What?
tiara. It is a valuable family heirloom and has been on this
I
estate
got you
for
back together with your
centuries.
wife.
This castle and its estate are
We're
old.
square.
It could be virtually anywhere, in any number of hiding places. I suspect there are many that even I am not aware of. I wish to present this tiara to my wife as a gift to commemorate the eternity we shall spend together. If you can find it and bring it to me before sunrise, then I will give you the gem you seek and your freedom.
You nod, unable to believe that you have virtually been ushered away from death's door just so you can run an errand for a couple of vampires. You do not want to think about the consequences if you fail to meet the deadline.
Okay, let's save in case we die and don't have to sit through that again.
So, I have until just before sunrise to retrieve this
Damn it.
tiara?
That is correct.
And if I am unable to...
Oh, you don't want to know, Graham.
The Count's eyes glint red as he looks directly into your own.
For your own sake, I shall hope that you are successful.
You bravely suppress a shudder. It seems clear that you are not off the hook yet.
Castle scavenger hunt.
Pardon my asking, but as the Countess of this realm, I presume you have lived in this castle before now?
Yes, that is so.
Then how did you come to
Yeah.
live in that old house by the sea?
Got a good deal on it.
After my husband died, I continued to live in the castle for a time. I watched my newborn son grow into a man, marry, and have a child of his own.
Possum.
Yes. Shortly after her birth, however, my son and his wife both befell
Oh
a
yeah, they're
tragic end
outside.
at the hands of...
The Countess looks pained and appears unable to continue.
Interesting.
I apologize if I have caused you to relive your grief.
A vampire cannot truly feel grief.
Don't discount your wife's
Perhaps
feelings.
my wife still recalls
Douche.
hers. I shall continue for her, if you so wish.
Please, if I may know, how were your son and
Just
daughter-in-law
wasting
lost to you?
They were
Time.
slain. by the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood?
From
You have
Skyrim?
met them at the church.
The
Your mind
werewolves!
reels, so that is the connection.
Man, I knew that guy was a dick. He's definitely not marrying me now.
Why would the
In
Brotherhood
either
kill
sense of the
your
word.
heirs?
The expression.
Oh.
As you have just guessed, the Brotherhood wish an end to the reign of my family. Why else would they give you the means to penetrate my domain so that you could do their dirty
He
work
was pretty
for them?
shady. Yeah, he was
Cross
shady as
key.
heck.
Exactly. Stolen from me through stealth and their own brand of magic. The Counts of Colima have all descended from a single bloodline. We have always been partial to change, as opposed to the stagnating status quo of the Brotherhood. Over the last few decades, the Brotherhood have tried to dispose of my family as best they could. That which I am now was brought about by them. They were the ones who set the monstrous, infected bat upon me. Long have I cursed my ineptitude. I should have used magic to defend myself.
Do not be so hard on yourself, my dear. I remember that night well. That hideous creature gave you
Kind
no
of tried. I
chance.
saw his hands.
Perhaps. But I should have awoken from my dark sleep,
Dark sleep?
sooner. Then I would have been able to protect our beloved son and his wife, and you would not have been forced to flee the castle, to live out your days in that wretched old house, under a
Nice
false
white picket
identity.
fence.
It was not so bad a time. Dear little possum loved it. I hope she will be as happy in her new home. She has a new life now.
It's a child
There's
with no
reason
guardian.
to fear anymore.
This Brotherhood. Are they real
Dwarves robbing
They
her and
were
beating her up
once.
in the forest, but okay, yeah, she's good.
Happened to them. Local folklore would have you believe that Weirwood Forest is a host to certain entities. Spirits of the wild, they are called.
And what of them?
I believe the monks encountered these spirits. What occurred specifically is beyond anyone's knowledge but their own. But it is evident that the men were given the ability to transform themselves. Unfortunately, their minds were apparently transformed also. They began.
So the danger you face is not a result of some decades-old feud?
Not at all, dear king, though history will likely reflect such.
Yeah,
But, to answer
they
your
didn't
question,
seem like it.
they do not represent their fellow brethren well.
Only opening the place at night.
The Count has nothing. The Countess has
Can I get
nothing.
any of the stuff for the road?
You seem to have lost your. You seem to. You seem to.
A lot of good stuff here. What? Come on. Why? It's all animated
take
very
the
similarly.
ham.
Can I get the chicken?
You seem to have lost.
He took the ham.
You seem to. You have a strict and simple rule about vampires, unless you want to donate
That's
some
your
blood.
glass, but okay.
You see.
All right, so we gotta get that tiara before the sun comes up, or we'll be dead. You know, as it goes in an adventure game. So we'll pick up in, I don't know how I'm editing this, but we'll pick up in the next episode, in the next bit, and we'll find that tiara. See you then.